G'day everyone, new challenge starts today, and that is drive a very fast car around one of the greatest racetracks in the world in appalling conditions and see what happens. So this is a Project Cars series. It's going to be called Ring Laps, and what I'm going to do is take a very fast car, in this case a BAC Mono, which is a really cool little British sports car, and try to get around the Nurburgring, which is a crazy racetrack in Germany, without stacking it into the wall. And I'm going to do all that while talking to you. And that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. And if you've seen the previous Project Cars video I did talking about the cognitive overload that this game instills in the player, just like, say, Natural Selection 2 does, you'll know that you're probably in for a little bit of hilarity watching me attempt to keep this car going in a straight line. So this is a cool little track car. It is actually road legal in some jurisdictions, which I find hilarious because you guys have an external view on some shots. I'm just looking at the cockpit right now, but it looks absolutely maniacal. And I've got it in canary yellow for this particular attempt. The track, the Nurburgring, also known as the Green Hell in Germany. Look up on YouTube Nurburgring crashes and you can see people taking their street cars to the ring and wiping out. And it's hilarious in the cases where they don't actually get hurt. And I'm attempting to do this with the weather set to storm, which is basically insanity, and I almost stacked it there, but I'm okay. It's not going to be a very fast lap time having just stopped on the track, but it never was going to be anyway, because this weather just makes it so hard to put the power down. And the BAC Mono is this beautifully balanced little car, and Project Cars does a really cool job of simulating that. You definitely, at least with a Logitech G27, which I'm using right now, you do feel like you can place it very accurately. Even in these conditions though, as you can see, lots of counter steer required to keep it going where you want. It doesn't really transition into that power on oversteer very predictably, this car in these conditions. I feel like I can be easing on throttle and it will break out of line when I'm not really expecting it, like right there. And all these corners, I am taking them a lot slower than I would in the dry. Everything's about 30 kilometers an hour off pace at least, and it will be a very slow lap. It'll probably end up being around 9 minutes, I'd estimate, which is just absurdly slow, but I don't know. Maybe I can get it down to 8 if I really concentrate. But then I probably wouldn't even be able to talk. Whoa, that was close. It's actually a physical workout trying to do this. My arms flailing crazily. That, normally a second gear turn. Alright, I'll admit it, I had a little bit of fun with that slide there. That's normally a second gear turn at least, but I took it in third just because I'm trying to reduce the incidence of that power on oversteer that this very slick track is inducing in this car. I'm not using any special wet weather tyres on it in this simulation. There aren't any wet weather tyres offered for the car yet in Project Cars, so it's just using normal dry tyres. I did, however, reduce the final drive ratio, which means that I've slightly blunted the acceleration performance. Oh, it's a huge slide. I'm back into the wall. Now I can't see what damage that did. I can see pieces of the car on the track. You guys with the external view can probably see what I did to the car, but I don't think I hit the wall very fast, so I'm going to try and keep going here. But I believe I have damage on full, so it could potentially have damaged the rear spoiler or something on the rear suspension, and if that's the case, I'm probably going to find out very quickly on this very high speed sequence of corners. There's a corner coming up which it's got some German name like Courage Corner, and the reason is I'm almost flat to the floor here. I'm at like 80% throttle in 6, but right here in real life they call it Courage Corner because some people try and take it at full throttle, and it's just such a fast corner. You've come at it out of a sequence of fast sweepers. To take that thing at full throttle in real life would require very large balls, I think. I don't have them even in this simulation. Oh my goodness, I've lost it again. And there's more pieces of the car flying everywhere. Off track, lap time will not be recorded. Well, I don't want this lap time recorded anyway. So I don't know what I've done to the rear end. I can't see it. I've only got buttons mapped on this wheel for looking left and right. And so I can't see behind me. But I'm going to keep going. I'm going to try and get around the track in one go. But I have a feeling if you did that in real life, you would not be able to keep going. This cheeky little bit of oversteer there. So just over 2/3, that's a huge slide. Oh my goodness, just recovered. It's actually such a physical workout doing this. I mean, it's not hard physically, but it's definitely a very physical thing. It's a very physical gameplay experience, twirling this wheel around. Oh my goodness, can I recover this? Yes, I can. That was close. Oh, it's just oversteer everywhere at the moment, which is tremendously fun, but far out. It means that every corner is just a risk of not getting around the track, and the whole idea of this ring lap series is that I have to get around it. I feel like I've lost some grip at the rear. I don't know what damage I've done to the car. Obviously by this stage of the video, you guys have got to see if it is actually visually represented. That's not what this game's all about. It doesn't go all out on the damage visualization. But as far as I know, it is simulating the damage. And I do feel like I've lost a bit of downforce at the rear. The BAC Mono isn't a car with a huge amount of downforce. It's not a full-on race car, it is a track car. It's got a lot more downforce than, say, a Mercedes SLS or something else that I'll attempt to drive later. Oh my goodness. Okay, at least I didn't stick it that time. So I'm gonna have to stop, reverse, and get back on the track and have another go. This is so embarrassing. But in these conditions, I'm just pretty happy I haven't put it in head far out. Oh my goodness. I'm just happy I haven't put it head first into anything. But who knows, it could all be placebo. Maybe the back of the car is relatively fine, and it's just I'm putting too much power. I'm being too much of a lead foot, too much right foot happening. But I am getting closer to the end of the Nurburgring, but I've pulled too much speed into that corner. Just recovered, desperately trying to bleed off speed mid-corner, and of course as soon as you try to do that, you are risking a tail stepping out. Oh! Let's reverse out of the wall here, that was close. Man, can you imagine actually trying to do this in real life? Not a chance. Not at these speeds. And this car is just such a little... It's so mental. Oh my goodness, I'm barely touching the throttle here, and I'm in fifth. Keeping the revs low, just try and blunt the accelerator a little bit, but stop the tail stepping out. Of course, I am trying to go fast around this entire lap. I'm not going to be a little pussycat about it. I do want to get around fast, it's the whole idea. I'm going to VMAX it out at about 155, I think, on the straight here. 155 miles per hour, that is. So for all you non-imperial people like me, multiply by 1.6. So doing about, 200 and something kilometers per hour. Pretty fast. Definitely limited by gearing and aerodynamics there. I could probably extend the gearing on this car for this track, especially in these weather conditions where you're just not looking for acceleration. Oh, it's very messy towards the final corner. Gonna make it round. That is gonna be, and I've spun it on the final corner and before I go across the line, but that is the first ring lap. And I'm now going to go away and try and do this in another car in different weather conditions, maybe even worse.